Good evening, ladies and gents. How are you today? This is Aluminum Tarot, and we are back again to do another reading. This is going to be quite an interesting reading. So what I'm doing is I'm following up from the previous one done about the Harris-Trump elections, and surprisingly, I was spot on. I'll include the link to the previous reading on this description box below. So basically, from what I remember off the cuff, I predicted that would be a landslide victory. And it would be to the fact that Trump would actually speak more to the public and give them tangible things to focus on in his election promises, no matter how radical they may be. Whereas Kamala Harris would speak with platitudes and empty promises based on, her time and tenure as the vice president of the United States. So if you want to catch that one again, I'll put the link down there for you to look at that. This happened, if I'm not mistaken, a month or two before the actual elections took place. So why do I do these types of readings? I want to do this because I want to demonstrate the power of the tarot to foresee into the future and allow people to get insights on things that may be of use to them, seeing as how time and space are relative concepts. The cards are able to tap into the energy of the here and now, the moment, which is all we have, to be honest, and look into the future that way. So when people think that it's a bit of gobbledygook to, read tarot cards or whatnot, then we demonstrate how we can do this in a scientific, empirical manner. And that's basically, for me, any kind of scientific illuminous principles or Gnostic principles, for me, deeply resonate because it gives us the chance to reproduce those results in an organized scientific method. So that said, that is what tarot means to me, and that's also what I wanted to share about the contents of that reading a few months back. Now we're going to go into a reading about what's to come with this presidential election. Now that he has been sworn in on the 20th, we're going to see exactly where this is going to lead. I'm going to just do the best I can to read the cards, read them as I see them come out, and tap into the intuition for that. So we'll start off with the Nightmare Before Christmas deck, and also this lovely tarot deck that I received as a gift. And pull a couple of oracle cards from the Monology if needed. So let's go ahead. We'll begin. I'm going to go ahead and focus and see where this will take us. What is going to be, what will take place in Donald Trump's second term in office? What will take place in Donald Trump's second term of office? Divine One, what will take place in Donald Trump's second term as President of the United States? Divine One, what will take place in Donald Trump's second term in the United States? What will take place in Donald Trump's second term in the United States? Okay, let's begin. So we're going to talk about first year in office. Second year in office. Third year in office. Fourth year in office. Okay, so these are the ones that mark what's going to take place for the year. We're going to clarify these with the other deck. Please clarify these cards. Please clarify the cards, Spirit. All right. Cut. Clarify the Devil in reverse. Clarify the Devil in reverse. Right, that's year one. Year two. Clarify year two. Interesting. What about year three? Clarify year three. Clarify year three. And clarify year four. Okay, so we have some very interesting things taking place here. So Ace of Swords, this is all about getting clarity on specific matters. And what we see here with this reading, we're going to talk about getting clarity on the future of the United States. And what we want to do is not take partisan sides with this. I'm not saying that I'm for Trump or against him. What I am going to say is that this is what he plans to do, or this could take place in the near future. So what we have here firstly is the devil in the reverse. For year one, this is going to be year 2025, leading up to January 20th, 2026. So with the devil reverse, what we talk about is undoing the kind of restrictions and limitations that have taken place under the previous administrations, not just Democrat, but also Republican, and trying to do the whole mega slogan in real life. So with the devil in the reverse, what it speaks to us about is getting the United States kind of out of the mess that it's been laid in, and that could be numerous issues. Those who are in the comments right now, you can provide me the issues that resonate the most with you if you are from the United States. If you're from the United Kingdom, you can also talk about that freely, as compared to what you find in the current UK administration. But generally speaking, with the devil in the reverse, he's going to try to undo the wrongs that have befallen the country, if he wants to appear it that way. With that, he has the Knight of Swords and Strength, so he's going to try to be a very strong, authoritative figure. He's going to try to hold back against any criticisms that either journalists or other senior officials or other people who are in opposition to his cabinet launch against him. And additionally, with the Knight of Swords, is I see that he's going to attack this with sharp words and kind of pungent responses, in his typical characteristic fashion. So with this, it almost looks like the Knight of Swords is actually attacking the Strength in a sorts. What it means is that there's going to be a massive amount of loggerheads against, his opposition. However, the good news is that in his case, for him rather, is that the Republicans, I think, own the majority in the House of Representatives and the Senate. And so this may work to his advantage. When he passes executive orders, there'll be less resistance to that as well. So we then move into the second year, which is the Page of Wands. This is all about setting sights on new things that the US government can do for itself, and launching new projects that will come into effect during this year. So whatever executive orders that he places in now, he's going to try to expand on that. Because these are page energy, this is going to allow him to kind of birth new projects rather than old ones. With the Page of Wands, it's also about curiosity as to what could be, and a new kind of thirst for adventure. So this is going to be his mindset, trying to get the people motivated. Several things that will motivate this. We have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, the Empress in the reverse, and the Devil. So basically, the United States is not in a good position financially. These are going to be things that he's going to try to shine a light upon, and he's going to try to understand the best way to rectify the situation as far as, how the U.S. can curtail its excess spending, because when you have the Empress and the Nine of Pentacles both in the reverse, this is not a person who's dependent. This is not a person who is independent financially. This is a person who is codependent financially and sometimes smothered by opposition, or potentially in a bad way that can't see its own value. So when I look at this Page of Wands here, I see it shining a light on these three problems, and that's what I kind of see here. So let's break this down. Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. If you know that the United States is like nearly 41 trillion in debt because of its ties to the Federal Reserve. Ties to the Federal Reserve is the devil. That indicates contracts, whether they are financial or otherwise. And with the Empress in the verse, there's a deep amount of lack of value or understanding of sense of self. So what he's going to try to do is to, the word Doge just keeps popping into my head because I do know about the Department of Government Efficiency, which he is going to try to leverage to its best potential. To cut excess spending, he's going to focus on that. He's also going to focus on some of the programs that have, become wasteful, whereas redirecting his efforts towards other things that have cost a lot of money. He's going to focus a lot on immigration. And he's going to look at all of the things that are draining the United States finances to a sharp degree. And I think he's going to double down on that, especially after the first year where he can establish his credibility through the devil in the reverse. And then after that, after focusing on this, what you would call like superstructural, establishment of self, he's going to go into that base layer, that, material layer, where he's going to try to attack all of the different things that have been plaguing the United States finances as well as its stance abroad. Now, after winning the hearts, then winning the wallets, in year 3, we have the Six of Pentacles, it's the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. So we have 2 eights here, which is the number of the self. And with the Six of Pentacles here, clarified by the 2 eights, Six of Pentacles is about giving to certain things. That's your time, energy, money, attention, and so on. This is an earth sign card, so this is all about placating and, reaching out to people to build alliances, to make the people happy. This is where he kind of kicks into his populist stance because he knows he wants to leave a legacy. Now, why specifically is he doing this with the Six of Pentacles? It's because of the Three of Wands. He's waiting to see what's going to become of his legacy in the United States as its president, his 47th president of the US. And with the Eight of Cups, what he wants to do is he's actually, this is very interesting. I think with the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Wands in the reverse, he's walking away, or he knows he needs to walk away from his legacy. And so he's going to do a lot of things kind of under the table, which is what a lot of presidents tend to do when they're on their way out. He wants to be remembered from his, the legacy he himself has done, because this is the number 8. This is walking away towards something better. Eight of Wands in the reverse, this is about doing things without speaking about them. Let's clarify it with one more. And the Ace of Pentacles, there we go. So it's all about establishing that sense of self-worth. Additionally, establishing the next term of presidency to have more for itself rather than having much, much less. So getting the U.S., as much out of debt as possible, which is going to be very difficult for him to do. Let's not, let's not mince our words here. We know that, the U.S. is by far, it's got a debt to GDP ratio of about 110%. So that means every $100 the U.S. spends, it needs to pay back 110, whatever you want to call it. I'll look into the figures a bit more with the Federal Reserve, but, it's not earning as much money as it's spending. Is, for every $100 it earns, it spends 110. That's what I should say more so. And so looking into this matter, I think the people will be waiting to see what his legacy is going to do for them in the material. So if we look at this, we have the Seven of Cups. And then additionally, clarify, Six of Pentacles, we have the Ace of Wands along with the Page of Wands. So people are going to be looking for a new start in their finances. They're going to want to see the results of what he has done, whether or not jobs are more plentiful, whether or not things are, items are less scarce, if the crime is still pretty rampant. And I think what this is going to do, it's going to leave the US in a better position to do things it needs to do down the road. And if this is positive, this is going to be very, very beneficial to the people. When you are waiting to see what comes next, Three of Wands with the Seven of Cups, some of the things that could come your way could be positive and could be negative. But I think the people are looking for a new start, generally speaking, with what the president what the president's cabinet and he himself have to offer. Finally, in year 4, we have the Five of Wands in the reverse. We have the Six of Cups and the Magician. So this is about leaving a legacy, positively, influencing, the American people. I think that's what he will try to do. Whether we call it propaganda or not, this is just what the cards say. Six of Cups is usually about nostalgia, looking and reflecting back on the past of things that have been done. And then with the Magician, things that he has kind of created, pulling this rabbit from his hat, using all the resources of the United States and its allies to try to usher in kind of a new era of peace. And I do think I remember him saying something about that in his inauguration speech. But he said he came as a peacemaker, and here we have the Five of Wands in the reverse. And I think he will reiterate that as part of his public policy, in addition to his legacy that he wants to leave the United States of America. So that's what we see here in these cards. I'm going to go ahead and pull a card from the Moonology Oracle deck. Okay. One more. All right. So what kind of things can we expect from his presidency in 2025 to 2029? So you've seen it here first. Expect powerful change. I will say that again. Expect powerful change. That is essentially going to be the message of his presidency from the time of his inauguration until the end. So that is what the cards are saying here. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm keeping my political views out of the situation. However, being both an American and a British as well, I do understand that what takes place in the United States is going to affect the rest of the world, and essentially, transatlantic allies are going to be forged and lost across the way. But this is not going to be the same status quo as we've always seen it before. I think that during this period of Pluto and Aquarius, which is going to be powerful social change, socioeconomic change as well, this is going to completely create upheaval across the political climate. And I think that he knows that because this is his second term, he's going to ramp things up. We can just ask this question and this question only. Is this going to be a positive presidency or a negative presidency? I'm just going to take the card as it comes out to determine the meaning of that. So the card that came out for is this going to be a positive presidency or a negative presidency is the Lovers itself. The Lovers means two things. It's going to be one that resonates strongly with the people that he serves. And secondly, it's going to be a season of very powerful choices which influence the person, from now until their future development. It sets the course for all things. In the traditional Rider-Waite, what the Lovers talks about is, guided by Angel Raphael, which is kind of a protector angel, angel of fire and passion. It guides the Adam and Eve figures to allow them to make the change from which they are nudged into their future. I think I remember hearing that from from a tarot reader. If I'm not mistaken, it was Scorched Earth Tarot. She mentioned about that, and with the Lovers coming out as his, legacy, I think generally speaking, it will be a legacy of many difficult choices to make. And I think he will try to do this in an authoritative way based on his first year in office, and then cementing that across the other 3 years of his legacy until he is no longer able to run in the presidency at the end of his term. I'm going to leave it there. If you want to leave comments, please be respectful. I'd love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are about this, because this is something that I'm quite interested in. This is kind of a branch of mundane astrology or mundane tarot, where we look into the events that are going to take place down the road in the greater scope of things. But what I would like to do is just say, keep the comments civil. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you'd like a tarot reading with me, one that is in tune with your specific energies and not the energies of the collective, feel free to reach out to me at the information in the description box below. Oh, yeah, we're actually doing it backwards. I would also like to say, if you like what you saw on this channel, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe. Also, please ding the notification bell so you don't miss any updates from future postings. I'm going to leave it at that. It's been a pleasure reading for you today. Once again, this is Aluminum Tarot. I wish everyone the best, in the next 4 years. And I do wish peace upon the earth. Hopefully we can put an end to a lot of the madness that has been taking place and get back to best as a people, globally, not simply just country to country. But anyways, till next time, love and light.